who can I send? I have all these notices and no courier.
Fine. You look capable. Stern in the brow, proud of bearing. You are just what we need to deliver these notices. You'll do it, won't you? You've got to do better than the last fellow. There's pay. It's for the war effort. Notices of duty to denizens of Rathir selected to serve. The work can be hard, and you've got to, well, look the part. I'll give you a list of names, and you get each of them to accept their card. Easy as that. Well, what do you say? Will you do it? What I need are boots on the ground in Cluricon. I shouldn't say this, but if anyone can't or won't accept the notice, find someone else. Or make them. Whatever you need to do. Take these cards, deliver them to Rathir Westnon, Maywin Wyvern Gif, Aefendel, and Varen Seawine. Almain? Odd. All can be found in Rathir, and I can be found in the officers' hall on the burn when you're finished. The names are Rathir Westnon, Maywin Wyvern Gif, Aefendel, and Varen Seawine. They're all in Rathir. Went and broke his little leg. Oh, Lunala's tears. Hasn't a notion of how important our work is. No sense of the bigger picture. You can't fight a war without soldiers. True, we contract the war-sworn and volunteers arrive daily, but it's not always enough. Citizens of Rathir are selected on... Well, the process is secret. Even I don't know how. They're selected, a notice is sent, and they serve. I'm the chief of recruitment, and don't think I've got time to go around handing out notices. Those notices are only the beginning. We're in Rathir. This is the war effort. How do you think we get a steady flow of soldiers into Cluricon? You've got to be organized, and everyone's got to pitch in. Now, be on your way.
All we haul ashore must pass the Chamber of Trade.
Excuse me.
You must be here about the notice. How do I know? Simple. No one but potential applicants will even speak to me. Must be because I reek of desperation, of one sending young souls off to certain doom. Well, once you hear the details, I'm sure you will lose interest. Everyone else does. We of the Alfar Merchant Navy wish to hire a representative to track and kill the notorious pirate Dead Kell and his crew of murderous hanged men. They had many names for him during the Middle Kingdoms era. Ghost of the Frostbreak, the Blood-Red Sail. Every captain and swab on the Frostbreak Sea feared for their lives when Kell raised his flag. Many widows were made in those days, my friend. Of course, that was centuries ago, before he was killed. Oh yes, the Alfar Navy put an end to Dead Kell generations ago. They tracked him to his island hideaway and turned his ship to tinder. There were no survivors. Now you understand our predicament. Our shipping and transport lanes are a gauntlet. Dead Kell preys on our ships like scabs feast on the dying. We're helpless against him. We're losing 1 in 5 vessels departing from Rathir. Good sailors gone. Vital supplies sent to the depths. This must end now. You will? Truly? I must admit I did not anticipate this development. Here is your payment. It is made in good faith. Once you've made your preparations, report to Captain Rast Bratigan in the Keys. She will be your escort. Rast is a good and loyal companion and a competent sailor, despite what they say. May Lyria protect you, and may her breath ever be... She perches along the pier like a seabird, never venturing far from her ship, the Calamity. She is the only captain willing to pursue dead Kell into the mists of the Frostbreak Sea. Perhaps it is her courage, her skill, her determination. No, it's not it. Rast is a good woman, but unaware of her own faults, of which there are many. They don't call her the worst sailor alive for nothing. I have served the Alfar Merchant Navy since my youth, and I began my career as a deckhand on the good ship Steadfast. He is the scourge of the Frostbreak Sea, a terror who seems intent on sinking every ship we sail from Rathir or elsewhere. If only he'd stayed dead. It's the fierce, icy ocean north of the plains of Erebor. A busy place of trade and transport, and the occasional treachery. It is the hideaway of dead Kell and his crew. The legends speak of it as a damned isle, a horrible scar on the face of the world. To be quite honest, no one is sure of its true location. For the best, I say. Nothing causes a captain and crew more grief than those little beasts. Their poisonous secretions can eat through a new hull in a matter of days. They're not native to this region, but they stow away in the shadowy hulls of ships sailing up from the north. They are Dead Kell's legendary crew, a trio of villains so sinister that their names sink the heart of every sailor. But I won't tell you any more. No. You don't need anything else to stoke your worry. Trust Rast.
Excuse me, coming through.
Seafoam Tavern. Food, drink, and beds for all. Here's how Rathir is. At first glance, you see naught but marvels. Look again, and you'll note the flaws and cracks. Take a third glance, and through those cracks, more marvels. More truth to that than you know. A room. We've got rooms. Don't mind a flea or two. The sheets might be fresher, but aye, we've got rooms. As you like. It's all the same to me. This is the only establishment in all Rathir that's not Alfar run. The last owner passed away 3 years back. They let me have it, seeing as I lived and worked some 20 years upon this rock. Ugh.
Welcome. Relax and rest a while.
Get this. I wake up yesterday morning with the worst headache, no shirt, and a note that I'm fighting a duel. Me? Fighting a duel? I don't know how I got into it, but it's all rot unless I can find a second. You can't fight a duel without one. Now, you might be thinking, a popular fellow like Wayland, what trouble could he have finding a second? Well, turns out my friends are all drunken cowards. Look, you seem tough enough. Be my second, and I'll make it worth your while. Thank Lupoku. There is something else I should mention. There is no way in all Amalur I'll win this fight, so I've devised a plan. Before you go to Dalton, that's my opponent, find Gelfine in the Wending and ask for some rows of shadows. She'll know what you mean. Then go to the officers' hall in the burn, and on the sly, put some on Dalton's sword point when you inspect it. After you've got the rows of shadows from Gelfine in the Wending, you've got to talk to Dalton in the officers' hall. Tell him I'm ready. He'll show you his dueling sword. Dab a bit of the rows of shadows on it. Then come back to me. Surely you've heard of him. Back from Cluricon, and everyone's talking about his exploits on the battlefield. They used to talk about my exploits with society daughters, but... I swear I don't remember a thing. Apparently I challenged Dalton Ames, the war hero, over the honor of my sister. I do seem to remember him and his bulky arm sitting smugly in the sea foam, taunting me. All in good time, my friend. All in good time. Proud son of four-stit traders, my name is gold in every watering hole and board house in Rathir, and, well, I'm not really allowed out of Rathir. The way I see it, I'm doomed to end up in Mel Senshir, and I'd rather cut the nose off my face than live a soldier's life. I want some freedom, and you're going to help me, right? Now, time for my part in this business.
The men of this city don't spit, they don't stare. Man,
You're not from the Scholia Arcana, are you? If they don't want my company, I certainly don't want theirs. If you're not one of them, well, you're welcome to join me. I'm enjoying the ale and cheer and no bloody spells or mysteries. What is this? Ah, it was only a matter of time before the army found me out. Just my luck. This calls for another drink. I'll have to pack my things. Ah, Alison, how do I tell my sister? Where will she live? How will she live? Army wages can pay for Alison now, but I'm leaving her. I'll send money. I hope she doesn't end up in the Wending. One thing I've learned, the ladies here are like the spire. Breathtakingly beautiful and completely unassailable, especially to a failure like me. Let them sleep in their lofty towers. I'm headed for a real life, not sitting in front of books all day and being condescended to. Rove, another ale. Make that two.
Well, hello there, stranger. Grab a mug and have a drink if you want. I don't own the place, but I know the drink is good. After all, I brought it here. I was wondering when word would get out that I had the bauble. Just recently came to it. But I'm afraid I can't give it over, stranger. It's not for sale. Isn't it a grand thing? Takes whatever swill I want and turns it into the sweetest summer wine. I'll be the richest wine merchant in Rathir. The city has seen better times, and it's been frantic here ever since the war touched down into Willy. But I love it all the same. I've been a wine merchant for several years, sailing up and down the coast to find the best vintages. But I don't need to do that anymore, now that I've got the chalice.
Hail.
A stranger comes. Forgive our suspicion. It has not been safe for we sparrows of late. The sparrows are being hunted, one by one, hunted and killed, and we can learn nothing of our killer or the cause. Please, would you go to the City Watch and ask for their help? You can travel Rathir without fear for your life. We no longer can. None that would hunt us down and kill us. Not within Rathir. I am sure of that much. If they know nothing and cannot help us, then no one can. Lunala bless you. The captain of the watch is Area Talabor. He's a good man of spotless reputation. Speak to him. Above the tunnels, just beyond the wending, you will see guards flanking the door. Speak to Captain Talabor. Rathir is like a great stone tree, with mages in its boughs, bright ships in its shade. We sparrows nestle in its roots, as loved by Lyria as any other. I look after my little birds, speak for them, and see to the finding and picking through all of what Rathir discards. Rag pickers, urchins, scamps, call us what you like. We too have a place, and it is here. All that Rathir does not need or want, the gold chain broken, the tailor's scraps, old ship casks, we sparrows gather up. We bring it here, we sort and mend, and sell it new for meager coins as we can. And that is how we live.
Few topsiders know we're here.
We who are weak and ill-fated, we are cursed. Don't like what you hear? The strong seldom do. She's the goddess of the strong, the fortunate, the magic-blessed. She's no goddess of ours. We are cattle herded by Lyria's favorites. Caged, harried, and starved. I have seen the truth, and I will speak it aloud. This city is not our city. We are the mice beneath its floors.
If it's cards you're looking for, you'll find Kess by the tunnel entrance, off to the side, dealing rounds of hexes.
Bah!
Here in my pockets, a dead mouse, a breadcrumb, a sorrowsome whale, but no magic. No. Spire, fire, higher, tire, crier, dire waters, dead. Get out of my sight! Out, 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 out! Creep, crawl, cower, flower, uproot, down, and with a bleeding sun stumble to dusk. Dead and married be. You enemy of
That
faith.
man stands in the tunnels day and night, going on about Lyria.
What? Buy something, sell something. It doesn't matter where you got it from. By Lyria, don't say it so loud. Someone could hear. All right, it's yours, if you can pay the price. Remember, I never saw this. Or you. You got what you came for, now go! Get away from me with that. What? Don't look at me like that. I don't like to be looked at. You go and wrinkle your nose at our caves and our tatters. At least I'm Rathir, and no rotten outsider. I don't mind where you got anything. I don't ask. And don't you go minding where these came from. It's buy, sell, or leave.
Them that can't sleep in houses, sleep in caves.
Here to gamble. Aaron Kest's right there. He'll deal you a hand. Get back! I won't go, not there. I prefer living to dying, thank you all the same. Well, there's that. Hadn't thought of that. Might be nice. Cook's work or quartermaster's. I'm a fine cook, you know. Me? I'm a nobody. Just a man who loves the dark and sleeping in a cave and cards. Runs a good game of cards. Give it a try. He's a friend. Been a friend to me. Well, I'll miss the place. But I suppose there's Dark and Rocks and Cluricon. And soldiers play at cards now, don't they? I feared nothing more than those notices. But fear's worse than the thing itself. Strange, isn't it?
Game of hexes? Game of hexes, topsider? What, never played? It's easy enough. Lay down some coin. Give it a try. Now that's what I like to hear. All you need recall is these 6 cards here in my hand. Ace, deuce, 3, 4, 5, and the hex. Now, you start with an ante. What'll it be? Good. Now what's the card I'll draw? Odd or even? Even or odd? And it's an ace. Sorry, no luck. Oh, he's a fine enough fellow. Don't you go spooking him now. Last time he up and ran. Down. Aye, the lost winds. Nothing you want down there. Beasts and cutthroats and Lupoku knows what else. As fine a game as there is. Needs but 6 cards, see? No better way to win some coin? Idle the hours? Cozy enough, isn't it? What with some found candles, a game of cards, and the occasional ranting out loud? We make do. We make do. Oh, one more game.
I miss the sunlight.
Them that can't sleep in houses, sleep in caves.
Well, a topsider.
Them that can't sleep in houses, sleep in caves.
Welcome to the Wending, mate. I'm sorry it's come to that, but here we are, eh? What's this, eh? Time to serve? Well, I always knew it might come. Not sure what they want with a poor Rathir Westerner like me, but I'll go. I'll go. Rathir. Some say it runs near as deep as it runs high. What I do know is the spire top's full of light and magic and wealth. Down here, shadows and rags and one daft old mage named Faldron Afari. Oh, him? No one knows his real name. Got that name from the way he talks. Some say he was next to the Archsage once, up Spire Top, and a spell went wrong, or his lover fell to her death. Whatever it was, broke him it did. Where you go when you can't find gold for a Praderi garret or a bunk in the Keys, nor get work in a servant's quarters up in some great house. If you're able, you sleep in a ramshackle house. If you can't, you sleep in the tunnels among the mice and candles and rags. Make no mistake, for the likes of me, it's warm and welcome. Gelfine buys and sells what you please. Kest deals the cards, sparrows come and go. And the watch come through seldom to never, which is how we like it.
Citizen.
This is the City Watch. Captain Talabor? He's been out on his duties. Ah, but there he is, right there. You're in luck. Think of the Watch as the right hand of the Orbicont. We keep the prison, keep the peace amongst the people. To be honest, crimes in Rathir are uncommon, outside the lower tunnels at any rate. An occasional drunken brawl among Varani, disputes between merchants, that is all. My rank is First of the Watch, and I report directly to Captain Talabor. The Wending, where the poor live, extends into tunnels carved in the rock. Crimes there are hard to police, and the tunnels run deep. Thieves and the like will vanish there, and re-emerge when we are gone. The council which governs Rathir. No one knows who is on the council, though you may see their palace atop the spire. They are cloaked in robes and shadows, but do not concern yourself with that. Good.
City Watch, be on your way. City Watch, be on your way.
This is the City Watch.
The City Watch never rests.
Well, you're no guard. Here to let me out, is that it? That's a jest, mind you. Even if I could slip out of here, the damn watch would have me back before you could count 12. I'd swear the stone spy for them. What am I here for, you mean? Would you believe I disgraced the great house's daughter? Didn't think you would. I had a right good swindle going with some wending lads. But are they locked up? No. Bloody Alpha double standard. Whenever they do let me loose, I don't fancy I'll stay longer than a whore's wink. Anywhere else in Amalur, that's where I'd rather be. Let's just say if you carried 100 crates from ship to vault, no one's none the wiser if one or two things go missing from every haul. Fine. Just walk away.
Halt! This is the prison. State your business here. We are the City Watch, and this is our home. You are a guest. Conduct yourself as one. You don't want to end up in there, believe me. What's worse, though, is resisting arrest. I don't advise it. Do not think us a people given to folly or crime. But in a city so large as this, there must always be exceptions to the rule. If you have no business, be on your way. Move along, citizen.
Stand aside. The Watch sees all in Rathir. You there, halt! Don't let me catch you making trouble again.
Move along.
City Watch, be on your way. City Watch, be on your way.
The Watch sees all in Rathir. Stop there.
Keep the peace.
Hello. You there, my lovely. I like the look of you. I have gold to slip in your purse in return for a small favor. Oh, now, don't sound so suspicious. I need some help in a matter of business. Tell me, do you know the merchant Gwalchmay? I am trying to strike a deal with that willful man, and I think I have found just the thing. Only, I cannot be the one to do it. The man who owns the goods store in the Prairie. He's got his thumb on nearly all the trade in this city. I can't sell anything without his good word, it seems. I have already tried to negotiate with him. He proved hard, stubborn, and unpliable. We could not reach a deal. I was hoping a new face and a new approach might cause him to let down his guard, become reasonable. How very astute of you. Now, Gwalchmay, I have learned, has a weakness for rare wines. This right here happens to be a bottle of Maybrin, his favorite. I wish we had more than just the one. Pity. Here's the contract for him to sign. The better a deal you strike, the sweeter I will make your reward. More than the bottle I gave you? Very good. If you can use that to strike a better deal, I will see you paid more than it's worth. In his goods store, in the Prairie, the market. It's near the center of town. Get him drunk on Maybrin wine, and he should be magnanimous with the contract. Me? You wish to know about me? I'm flattered, but I prefer to keep my cards close to my chest. If I were to approach him, he'd dig his heels in. But a fresh face such as yours, bearing a bottle of his favorite wine? It might just work. The sea wreaths her, old stone lifts her high, gold and magic pulse through her veins. In the city of Rathir, a soft whisper in a dark corner unlocks many doors. Be good, my lovely, and I'll be good to you.
You're not armed, eh? What are you doing here?
Of course, most of it's in Cluricon, where the damned war is. We're here on leave. Bloody war hero, haven't you heard? And besides, he's right there. You can speak with him yourself. Now, this is going to be a farce. I've a bet with Dalton whether Wayland soils his pants. Just another soldier on leave, and I don't like questions. Now bugger off. We call it a war, but it's more a dying man's truce. We crouch in Melsen Shear, and they lurk in Cursewood, and shoot arrows at each other.
Please, I'm only a soldier back from Cluricon. Don't kneel, and I'm afraid I don't do blessings. Well, here for the formalities, then. My sword is in the back. She's new, the real beauty. Go on and inspect it. I'm sure you'll find it more than suitable. Right in the next room on the wall. Won her off a Varani chap. Mind you, don't grasp the hilt. They say it's bad luck. Me? They call me a war hero. Haven't you heard the songs? It was only 5 Bulgan, and I had a rusty knife. Huh, I don't see what all the fuss is about. As you know, until the siege ends, it's a lot of sitting around and brief skirmishes. Can't wait for a real fight. I tell you, we need a place like this in Cluricon. Sure, there are places to drink and gamble, but nothing with class. He's as vile as his sister's delectable. I don't know how word got round to him, though. I thought I was discreet.
Hello, lovely.
Oh, but it's good to be back in Rathir.
Have you delivered those notices yet? No?
I broke my leg. Then the healer broke it again. Can you believe it?
Well, what ails you? This part of the officers' hall's my domain. I pass fresh recruits before we send them off, and treat them when they return. The ones from Cluricon are the worst. Missing or rotting limbs, the pox, that sort of thing. There's no disease or curse or suppurating wound I haven't seen 1,000 times in Cluricon, so don't be shy, and try not to whine. Have you been? Oh, foul land. Rank as a cruddock's breath, and bleak as the northern sea. And that's without the damn Tuatha. Goodbye.
A few days and I'll be headed back.
We aren't visiting Melsen Shear anytime.
The liberation of Melsen Shear is close. Hurry!
We aren't visiting Melsenshire anytime soon, traveler. The ships are all moored up until Elund Karth says otherwise.
Oh, it's good to be back. And this is Cluricon we're talking about, not your grandma's henhouse. You'll see things there that...
Students 34 and 30, not a gold piece more.
50 gold. What do you say?
Oh my. Are you new to Rathir? Are you here for the Scholia Arcana as well? My brother is. Are you a mage? I bet you're not more powerful than he is. I don't even know where to start. There's so much to tell. The Pradaria, of course, where all the shops and stores are. And the Keys and the Burn, and the Upper City, where my brother's school is, and also the temple and those marvelous gardens. Some merchants sell pails of fish or bolts of cloth, but Leargriff has all kinds of pretty things, and Gwalchmay has anything and everything. I spent 3 whole days in the bookstore, and then I smelled every herb and powder at Rawani's. Pride of Pradari's got boring old weapons and armor. Surely you've heard of it, full of stuffy old mages and strange books, and the rooms Varen wouldn't let me go in. Just think what might be there. The northern piers are called the Keys, where merchant ships dock for trade. It's safer there, sheltered by Bracken Bay, and farther from Cluricon. Only warships dock at the Burn, and it's all soldiers there. What with the officers' hall, though the healer's there too. The tavern by the Keys. You'll find as many Varani sailors there as full Rathiri, and my lazy bones of a brother, too. That's where the poor in the city live. A bit of it's overground, but the rest's in the lower tunnels. It's true, they live in caves. Oh, if you haven't been, you must go. The Scholia Arcana's there, of course, and the great houses. But the best part's the Lunar Gardens. It's always nighttime in the gardens, and so peaceful. You pass through there to the temple, which is also enchanting. The priestess is a fate weaver. So you met my brother. Was he at the tavern again? Did he mention when I could go see him at the Scholia Arcana chapter house? What? He was dismissed? How did that happen? He's been lying to me. I can't believe it. Thank you for telling me. I'm sorry, but I don't really want to think about the Scholia Arcana anymore. You can go see them in Upper City if you want. I still can't believe he lied to me. My own brother. I don't know what to do now. So long.
$30 then.
My friend, do you know the costs? The artisans, the
Curios,
conveyance,
talismans.
This is the sage crafting table. I can help you with gems and shards and the like. If you want general goods, you should speak to Master Gwalchmay over there. Oh, he's been very good to me. I knew my gems were good, but they wouldn't seem to sell in a market stall. They do better here. Oh, it's so lovely, the Lunar Gardens. Not that I've seen much else of the world. Have you? Oh, I'd be terrified to go so far. It takes great concentration. You can get lost in the work. I like that. So long.
Lyria, light your way.
Gwalchmaze is just too expensive.
You have come to Gwalchmaze Goods, provisioner to all Rathir, to high and low, great house and sparrow alike. Abrin wine? Wherever did you find it? Forgive me, it's just they're devilish hard to find. You likely had no idea, but there's not a wine in the world I love more. In fact, I think I'll uncork this now and have a sip. Or two. Ah. Another? I could cry just to look at it. Best to drink it now. Yes, best thing for it. The more you drink, the better it goes down. A Maybrin? Oh, yes, very much. Excellent vintage. My warmest thanks. Very thoughtful of you. Very kind indeed. A third? Ought to save it. But I've had to. Why stop now? So good. Nothing like it. Just lie down for a moment. Easy does it. Yes, yes, yes. What is it? The what? The wine? I'm afraid I've had too much. Or not enough. Come again when I've slept a little. Bring more Mayburn if you've got any. What's that? More Mayburn? Give it to me. It's the only thing for this aching head. Oh, better. A little better. Yes. A Mayburn? Oh, yes. Very much. Excellent vintage. My warmest thanks. Very thoughtful of you. Very kind indeed. Carasta's contract? Ha! I made my stand known to her. Don't think I'll change it now on account of some wine already drunk and forgotten. A Mayburn? Oh, yes. Very much. Excellent. You, my friend. You know just the thing to make an old man happy. Ah, Mayburn wine. Queen of all wines. A Mayburn? Oh, yes. What's this now? Carasta's contract? Ought to have known she was behind this. Still, I suppose I was a bit hard on her. Here's a reasonable figure. She shouldn't turn her nose up at this. What do you say? No, don't take it like that. Oh, well, it won't ruin me. Here's the deal. She's got it for a song. How's that? A remarkable woman, there's no denying. But you be wary. Those eyes of hers make promises. Promise things she'll never give. Oh, him? No one knows his real name. Got that name from the way he talks. Some say he was next to the Archsage once, up Spire Top. Then a spell went wrong, or his lover fell to her death. Whatever it was, broke him, it did. Now there's Anwan and Wyvern Gif. The old oak and the greenweed, some say. Not I. The coin of one's as good as the other. Friend to any soul with such distinguished taste in wine. To you, friend. I could tell you a thing or two about this city. Did you know, for instance, that Faldrin Afari ate the 5th memorial stone? Cast a spell and ate it. I could say a thing or two about Wyvern Gif as well, if I didn't fear the consequence. The first 4 are easy enough to find about the city, but the 5th, few know the truth of it. The Wyverns had a claim of their own, mind you, but their marriage to Gif, a scandal. I know the truth of it, but I'm not at liberty to say.
So many new faces in the market these days.
May your stay in Rathir be pleasant.
This wine. Oh.
Consider the maidstaff. Would you prefer ordinary or illustrious? A pleasure, I assure you. I've been supplying scholars and students alike for many a year. Those rare and potent marvels unavailable within their compound, I am happy to supply. Magic's mistress and goddess of fate, which is not but magic's deepest weave, after all. Lyria's city. Magic runs through its veins, echoes in its courts and byways, and I do my modest part. To be honest, I never actually passed the initiation trials. An oversight, I assure you. Arrogant fools. Lyria's light guide you.
Oh, there's no use. I've lost the keys. Now Gwalchmay'll have my head if I can't think up something fast. Say, you're not good with locks, are you? Would you help a poor fellow who's down on his luck? Yes, as in, no need for keys. Ace with a lockpick. Gwalchmay wants an old red ledger from the storeroom in the customs house. The chest it's in, that is, yes. Although I don't know which one it is. But it's down there, somewhere. Oh, now don't worry, nothing in the storeroom's seen the light of day in years. No one will mind if you pick a few locks before you find it. The Chamber of Trade's on the way to the keys, and the storeroom's off one of the wings. Just pick any lock down there till you find the old ledger. Oh, the things they say about that Lanshi. That she talked a Jotun out of his own hammer once. And another time sold some Varani fool his own silk for twice as much, after cutting it to ribbons and winding it on spools. Well, he's a good enough master all in all. Sees to it I earn every coin of my wages, though. No standing about, not in his shop. With all these people walking around, you'd figure someone would help me after I lost my keys. Gets these ideas into his head. Needs this old thing, needs that new thing. This time it's shard prices by the decade. Something to do with a deal he is or isn't striking with that Karasta trader. Me, Gwalchmay calls me lad whenever he wants me, and the others call me hardly anything at all. Just fetch this and lift that. Chamber of Trade basement. Just head toward the keys. Oh, and have these. That should help.
If you're looking for vintage Alfar spellbooks or a copy of the original gnome census scrolls, you're in the right place. War is ugly. Perhaps if the generals did more reading, the scholars did more fighting, then everyone would better understand the pointlessness of violence. I'm studying in preparation to join the Scholia Arcana. Is there any other reason to be in Rathir? This is where magic lives. It is the only place to be if you wish to study the arcane, to see the lunar gardens, or to gain an audience with the archsage himself.
Welcome, friend, to the Luminary Leaf, bookseller extraordinaire. Nearly any book you can imagine can be found here, at the Luminary Leaf, be it history, verse, or scholarship. Though, I must confess, we are not as well supplied in gnomish texts as I would like. The ancient steps of our founder and prophet are dear to any Rathiri's heart, but mine shall always stir to the brave tales of the war-sworn of old, pitting steel and valor against chaos itself. In truth, I once thought I might be a poet, but it seems in the end I am more shepherd than ram to my flock of tomes. Ah, you see? My metaphors always run amok somehow. I cannot ascend the steps of the spire without thinking on the first lines of The Fall of Dwinian, nor espy the Wending and not recall Stone Shadows. Rathir is a city of letters. I dare anyone to say otherwise. Now, while many books can be found only within Scholia Arcana walls, others can only be found without. Gnomish texts, magical controversies. Pelewin tugs at the heartstrings. Medara's mists at dawn takes my breath away. If you seek something a bit more rough and lively, the Varani Kesseniki or Sea Chance might be worth a read. Until next time.
Heard rumors of the duel? The drunkard and the hero.
Is there anything that can't be found here? Ruwani, apothecary, alchemist, importer, and cultivator at your service. You have some skill in the craft, if I'm not mistaken. It would be an honor, a compliment to me, if you made use of my alchemy bench. Oh, you've met them? Well, any friend of theirs is a friend of mine. Although, truth be told, those sisters can be a little strange sometimes. I've always found the mystery of herbs and fungi far more fascinating than anything else. As soon as I was old enough, I was apprenticed to the great Rilf Janik. Were you aware that 37 varieties of vine, flower, and tree can be found here? Discounting, of course, the lunar gardens. Have you been? The true marvel of our city, if you ask me. Blossoms you will see nowhere else in Amalur. Very good, then.
May your stay in Rathir be pleasant.
City Watch, be on your way.
Anything, everything is bought and sold in the Praderi market.
Do not miss Leogriff's many marvels.
10 years!
Look with your eyes, buy with your hands.
So much to choose from.
That will do quite nicely. Sif Sater at your service. Don't mind the racket. Just my wife, at Harpy across the way. My craft is shields and armour only. The art of it's in the balance. Too heavy and you can't move in it. Too thin and it shatters. Majestic towers, crisp sea air, and I spend my life in here with that milksop Adar and my spiteful hag of a wife. What a mouse! Look at the way he taps at the forge. Scared of his own damn shadow. Proud is right, and why not? Fitted most of the Alfar army. No frills, no finery. Just good hard steel. First and greatest mistake I ever made. Only thing sharper than her wares is the tongue in her mouth. Good.
Another Varani?
I'll sell you weapons, but if it's armor you need, you'll have to speak to that husband of mine. Good enough an apprentice, though he's wanting some courage. Still, I pity him. The hours he spends under the dark cloud of my husband's scowl. Him? If you've any love of life, don't talk to him. Can't abide a joke, can't enjoy a drink.
Before the war, the people of Rathir were filled with hope, with joy. Most of them, anyway. Have you met my husband?
A terrible thing. Much as it keeps us in business. I like to think that every weapon I forge just might kill one of those two Arthur. That's what helps me sleep at night. Farewell.
Yes, that helm will serve you quite well.
Lyria, light your way.
A sword? Ask the harpy over there. A sword? Ask the harpy over.
Back again? Glad to help. But I don't know how much I can do for you.
Stay dry, Captain.
Strong winds lately.
Are you a trader? A captain? What?
Do you have any business at all in the customs house? I was born and raised there. My father was something of a scandalous wretch. Everything there is extremely large, though we as a people are small. I am in fact aware that I am a gnome, and that this is Rathir. Don't think every half-drowned sailor who stumbled in here hasn't made that joke. If you must know, Odessa and I do not suit each other, and I'm very good at counting. Counting is the key thing in a customs house. You're standing in it, or hadn't you noticed? And I can't imagine why you are if you haven't any cargo going in or out of Rathir. Have you any notion the sum total of crates that enter and exit Rathir's port on a given day? I do. I know the profit and cost to the city, the average writs of trade per season, the escrow on accounts held. This is what I know of Rathir. The tally was this figure, and this figure. That corner, pretend the other.
10 years. This siege has
33 and a half.
Stay dry, Captain.
What do you think you're doing? 20, 30.
All your papers in order, then? Well, you'll need those to move your cargo. Say, you're not a merchant. Can't miss her. She's the gnome right over there, shouting and making tallies from dawn until dusk. All trade in and out of Rathir must pass through customs. And Lyrius tears how much trade there is. We're buried in it. There's a form for port of entry, 3 for the unloading of cargo, and 4 for loading a ship. And then the various writs of trade. Oh, so many forms. They just keep piling up. Then I get them muddled and Augusta scolds me, and I end up at the sea foam. When an island is not an island, more crates of goods, soldiers' feet, and mages' robes cross this jut of rock than any other in the Feylands. Why, the tavern around the corner. Always good cheer there, and never so many papers and crates as in the customs house. Step outside and turn northwest. Those docks are open to merchants, which means, by and large, Varani. Where they come from, I don't know, but they come on boats in all seasons and with goods from all of Amalur. Now, today's newly docked vessels are...
Don't miss the Seafoam Tavern.
Keep at it.
Yes, can I help you? Can I help you?
Feels good to have my feet on land.
Step up. See what I have to sell. It's my brothers that ply the seas and bring me goods to trade. When I tire of Rathir, I'll wait till they return and back upon the foam. Not a bad sight from the bow of your ship, although I've never become accustomed to the strange ways of these southern Alfar. Darkalfar, whatever you like to call them, like and unlike to their sisters in the north. Losalfar, that is. The goods here you'll not find the likes of anywhere else. Not without braving the raging seas, at least. Safe travels.
Move along! These Alfar women, bewitching is what they are. Strong winds lately.
Good day to you.
A moment, love. I'll be right with you.
Well, you're not the only one who's been busy. I've called in every last favor in my book. Now there's only one last thing for after the duel. I have it all worked out. With your help, I'll be free of Rathir, free of the war, free as a lark. I need to prepare for the duel, and I can't be seen near the docks. I need you to find Jaber there and give him the name of the ship I chartered, the Maid of Fortune. That's where I escape once everyone thinks I'm dead. A simple thing, really. Find Jaber on the docks. Tell him the chartered ship is the Maid of Fortune. Fitting name, don't you think? A very mild poison. Don't ask how I know or why Gelfine sells it. You appear dead for the length of a day, then you wake with a terrible headache. The rows of shadows will very quickly make me seem dead to that warrior oaf. I'll be moved from a coffin to a shipping crate. From shipping crate to Maid of Fortune's hold, from there, the high seas and beyond. No Rathir, no war, not a care. When you're done, meet me at the dueling ground.
Port today, see...
You've been talking to my son. What is he up to? I already know about this foolish duel. There's something else, isn't there? Wayland's mother, mistress of Forsted traders. Not a woman to stand by and watch her son stumble out of the frying pan and into the fire. With a son like Wayland, you learn quickly. And in the end, this is all my fault. I should never have breathed a word to him about military service. So that's it. I should have known. Disgrace a war hero and slip out of Rathir. Well, I tell you what. Go on as you were, but give him the name of Ravenswing instead. I'll ship him right to Chloricon. A good shaking up, that's what he needs. When it's done, find me here. You'll be handsomely paid, I promise.
Sparrows send a hound out to the piers, and of course, now we're right where he wants the both of us, you and I. Why, the captain of the watch, the one that's been snuffing out those sparrows. He likely sent you here himself. Got you out of the way so he could go and slaughter the last of them, leisure-like. Clever bastard he is. I'd spit on their sorry graves for what they've done to me, but not enough to show our faces in Rathir. We're not that mad. Read the writing on the wall, mate. And if you weren't such a fool, you'd have left those sorry rag pickers to die in peace. Well, that is rich. Maybe I can't, but old Talibor can. And did. Now someone has to pay for his crimes, so it's you or me. And I do prefer my odds. You're not...
Remember, the Raven's Wing. That's the vessel. Give word that Waylon be put on the Raven's Wing. That is all. And I will see you recompensed. I do not want for coin. Waylon's follies are indulgences of youth. Nothing a little discipline and service can't grind out of him. Yes, one of our merchant ships. She sits empty for now. Soon, full of charitable provisions for our troops in Cluricon. He has always been like this. Reckless. He takes after his father. What that boy needs is time in the army.
Waylon sent you? What's the word? This is a devilish curious business, and I don't mind saying so. Raven's Wing? You're certain he named that ship? Well, and who am I to say otherwise? Aye, if you'll go and second his duel. That's the bargain, ain't it? Let's do our parts. A friend of our friend, you might say. I've raised a glass or three with the lad now and then. Owe him a bit of a favor, too. Now, isn't that one of Forsted's own? I wouldn't have thought. But then you'd know best. You wish him luck for me. Make sure he's got the handle towards him and the point out the other way. Good day then, Dove, and good luck with it.
Good, you're here. Wish me luck.
What have I done? Lyria, this is awful. How the blazes did I kill him? This was a duel to first blood. I can't stay in Rathir. This will get out. I was a hero here. All those fine dinners, the adoring girls. They'll hear of this. I'll be a monster to them now. That's where I'm headed after this mess. Dead? How is he dead? I hit him once.
He's got to go back to Mel Sen-Shir now. This is a scandal. That's where we're bound now. Can't linger here in Rathir. Don't matter what he did in the war. Now he's killed a man inside Rathir's walls. He'll have to leave. Reckon I'll go with Dalton. I was his second, after all.
You did the right thing. I know Cluracan is good for the boy. Now, here is your reward, as promised. We don't pretend to the great houses, unlike certain families I might mention, but many luminaries have dined with us all the same. Don't you know, the Anwans are an ancient line, though if what I have heard is true, it may be near its end. The Wyvern gifts, on the other hand, no one has anything to say against the Wyverns, but then no one has anything to say to the gifts. You wish for a gnomish-spun suite, or a rare fey blade hilt. All these things must come to Rathir before they can be sold. I see to that. When you look about, you see a city of grace and magic. What I see is this bought dear, that sold cheap, cornered markets, doors to profit. I think he'll learn the error of his ways this time. I'm sure he thought himself clever, as if I wouldn't find out. Very well, then.
May your stay in Rathir be pleasant. That ship sails tomorrow at dawn.
Excuse me, coming through.
The contract? You have it. Let me see. This is... I don't believe my eyes. Did he agree to this? Oh, my lovely. You have done well. This will be very profitable for me. And so it should be for you. Don't let the old dog fool you. He is as shrewd and stubborn as they come. But like any old dog, his tail will wag for just the right treat. Leaving me? So soon?
The burn's for army use, not civilians.
Well, Topsider, what's on the tide?
I've got things. Things you'll not find. town.
Ah!
Lot of miserable rag pickers. You're the one. Do you know what you've done? What? And you didn't murder Dunn? We've all got blood on our hands. We all protect our hides when we must. I couldn't have this waif and her lot telling what they'd found. Which is why it's so good that you came. I'll blame their murder on you. Say you died in the struggle.
Daggers are rusty, but we'll use them if we have to.
He is dead. It is over now, thanks to you. And to think I only learned the cause of all this nightmare moments before he arrived. To hide his crimes, he was selling prisoners as slaves, smuggling them out to merchant ships in the dark of night. One of the boats wrecked and sank beneath the quays. That boat held slaves and gold, and had Talibor's name all over it. Before he could clear the wreckage, we took our pickings. We had his secret. He was willing to kill to save his name. In past times, we shared freely with the Watch, as we once did with the Dunman, but no longer. We will look after ourselves now. Defend ourselves now. Yes, I think that's best. As long as one other sparrow survives, I will be there to help keep this nest and shelter.
Busy these days.
Looking to buy?
There's a bit to do around here if you're not a stageling gloryboat like runs the show. Literally. Thinks we should all be in garters and lip paint. His wife, Maya, used to keep him in control, but now she's left him. Can't imagine why. Good riddance.
Would you care to sell? Sorry, I mean buy. Would you care to buy? Buy something? Come again.
Well, it's nice to see you again. Have you drudged up any cloth to sell me? That's good. Here's some gold for your trouble. If I knew, I wouldn't need you around to find them for me, would I? I think if you poke around, you'll dig some up. Pleasant journeys.
The breeze is nice, eh?